can't take 5 minutes and say I believe God. That's not evangelism. That's manipulation. Because many of us know if we really want to talk, if you really tell the truth, you may have repeated down the Romans road, but how long did it take you to really get saved? And for some of us, we done said it 20 years ago and we still ain't living right. You still don't know God. So what he's saying is that Moses' law, you seen the reward on earth, but it didn't give you eternal life. It didn't give you eternal life because it was based on principle that if you do this what you get. See, Paul was using his own testimony. He had a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. So as a result of that, he was killing the very people that he didn't know he had to save. So when you ignorant about God and his righteousness, you want to expose people. You want to blame people. You want to acknowledge they sin. And you completely dark about your own. So what he was saying is that Christ is the end of the law. What he was basically saying is obedience to the law was no longer the basis for a relationship with God. It was not saying that it came to an end, that it never reflected God's standard or no longer our need for a savior. That's what it was saying. It now becomes a path toward righteousness, which means you got to believe that that you can keep this law to better understand the law. But because people keep falling to law, he said Christ. So now you got to understand Christ completed the death sentence of the law that you don't have to die naturally is now spiritual death. So when he talks about ascended in heaven, he's saying you just got to believe and receive. You can't work to do it. And you can receive immediate righteousness by trusting in the word that you hear. So when you go to verse 9, you confess and believe in the person and the work of Jesus Christ. So how can you tell people, repeat after me and you saved, and you haven't experienced the work of the cross? The work of the cross is transformation.